Right, we saw the battle for the diary room in tonight's show, but what was really going through the housemates' minds? Well, body language expert Judi James is here to tell us exactly that. Hello, so before we start, we've seen the noms being revealed to the house this evening. What did you make of Siobhan and Connor's reaction?
The word hilarious springs to mind. I'm complete and utter denial, and to a hilarious degree with Siobhan in particular.
Well, Connor seemed to just kind of go, yep, like he seems used to it now that he faced it last week.
But he's the most competitive housemate. I mean, he was imploding inside, and he did this smile, but it was actually a teeth bare, which is a sign of aggression. He'd also got a metronomic foot going down there. That was the real Connor down there. Complete and utter hatred of the whole thing.
So he expected it, but he didn't like it?
Absolutely hated it.
And what about Siobhan?
Siobhan was... She was a bad liar, because initially you see the honest reaction. She looks like a crash test dummy. She kind of reels back, her eyebrows go up into her hairline somewhere, but then she comes back and says, I knew it, which is obviously, why would you be so surprised, but then say, I knew it? But that's always the face saver in Big Brother, isn't it? That you have to say, yeah, I knew that was going to happen, I want to go anyway.
Yeah, I'm going, I want to go. Do you know what, I might just go now.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I'm going to, no. I'm just going to stay, but I'm going to think about it for about
real
3
tears,
weeks.
no tears.
OK, so... let's start off with the blue team. So Luke A was selected by the blue team to take part in the last part of the task for the diary room. What did you make of his behaviour?
Really intriguing, because he's also a competitive guy. I mean, he's in it to win it in this.
Do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's got so Machiavellian now, hasn't he? Have you seen him with his sort of like round and really complicated with his plot lines as well?
He always looks like he's observing and watching everything that's going on.
Well, I think now we're finding out why, because he's beginning to get in there and start mixing it. I mean, he was doing what's called, it looks like an intrapersonal communication when he was about to do the task. So he was kind of bracing himself, but it was as though he was talking to himself. I think he was he'd got this competition going on that he would love to be alpha. He probably wanted to win a task, but at the same time he's decided to scupper it.
Let's just have a quick look, and then we can refer back.
Oh my God, this is so nice.
Come on, man.
No, it's only 5. Try 5.
Yeah. Not many people.
He can try. He's got 5 attempts.
He's got 5 attempts at the box.
Yeah, so just try.
He's done the box.
But do Dana.
That have been up.
Go.
No, because I don't think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Just
yeah,
try
it is. Because with everybody else, ain't just us.
So we know from tonight's show that his main aim was to fail that task, to sabotage it, so that he could help out his friends on the green team. Is that obvious from his body language?
No, I mean, it is at the very end when he kind of gradually he turns into chariots of fire. He does this tongue
hoping that Adam
poke.
is just going to charge
Preston. I don't really want to win. He does a tongue poke, which is a sign of disgust, as though he really doesn't want to win. But you watch him getting ready for it. I mean, that's the kind of body language you'll see on the high diving board in the Olympics. I mean, he got a jaw jack going, he kind of rebooted his body language. So it was this complete contradiction going on.
Could that have been a double bluff to the people on his team that didn't know he was trying to scupper it?
If he's that good at double bluffing, I mean, he should really be out playing poker in LA or something like that, because he would fool me. I mean, he was really gearing himself up for it. Right at the end, as I say, then you saw him trying to scupper it, but I think he was split between the two, to be honest.
OK. Who else showed interest in body language?
Connor, I mean, it's just this naked desire to win anything. You know, I mean, if there was a competition about the pile on this carpet, he'd have to win it. And he really got into a state of competitive arousal. He was jiggling around. He so much wanted to win that task. But he was up against Caroline, who was in a sort of a non-winning coma, wasn't she? I mean, she just wasn't with it at all.
Let's have a look at their competitive nature.
The two competing housemates must race to be the first to get into the diary room. However, the diary room door button has been locked inside a box. In order to unlock this box and gain access to the diary room...
Have you done...
I'm trying to
Have you known before in the past? Yes.
I did last week.
So what does that tell you?
It's such a hilarious double act because you can see kind of when it's being read out, his eyes narrow, he's really focusing on it. As I say, it's like an animal, he starts to rev up, he can't contain himself. But then Caroline's just kind of sitting there chewing the cud. I mean, it's gone over her head somewhere. But then he's dependent on her. And you can see the frustration in his body language that he's got to get an answer out of her. So we get a complete contrast between born to win and somebody that really, at that kind of winning. I mean, she's competitive, but she's competitive with the bitching, but not with the competitions.
Is a show like this probably the worst kind of thing for somebody like Connor to do, who is so competitive and very much knows his own mind? Because if it's not going the way that he wants it to go, then that is when we see him really not very happy. But surely Big Brother is a show where you're meant to kind of try and adapt and to work with people in an environment that is totally false.
I mean, I think this year you've got a lot of very competitive people.
So is he under the most pressure, do you think, in there because of how competitive he is?
In a way, because with him it's naked, he can't hide it. Right. And it's almost a shame for him, because I think the thing that we quite like in Big Brother is people that, I don't want to win, you know, I'm here to have a good time. And even if that's a bit of a mask, we like to see people enjoying themselves. But for him, the enjoyment's gone out of it. He's just a big ball of seething resentment at the moment. And now he's been nominated, that ball will be about to implode. So, yeah, he's not a good masker, and I think that's counting against him. But as I say, for him, unlike Luke, who's in it for the long game competitively, he's just every little competition he's got to win it, and that's going to be his downfall, I think. OK,
so let's talk about the green team. Becky made some really interesting noises. Let's have a quick look at those noises.
Adam, there never was a key.
So, what's that about? What does that tell you?
Well, again, you know, the tradition is you take it gracefully, that you're graceful in victory. But she turned into a complete animal. There's these animal whoops of delight, and then she does this big pit-bearing thing. Now that is a signal of arrogance. That's showing that you're completely undefended. All your bits are undefended, and that means that you're not worried about attack from anybody. So that pit-bearing was ultimate victory and arrogance. I think she's a lot more competitive than she likes to make out.
We saw her say tonight, didn't we, in the bedroom, when Scott said, oh, I didn't want to kind of celebrate to rub it in their faces. And she was like, well, I don't care. I don't care. I'm quite happily doing it.
And why does she go cockney when she does it as well?
So the housemates have been reunited. What can we expect from them? How is it going to go?
There's been so much tension, so much aggro going on between teams as well. So, and a lot of it focusing around Adam. I mean, Adam is the alpha that never occurred. He's been more and more. Have you seen him? He goes into the garden and just like a wannabe alpha animal, he stands on that stool. He even stood up there and cried. And this is very much alpha behaviour. I want to be in charge, but I'm not getting anywhere. He has taken charge, and he's probably compromised Luke's position as existing house alpha, but he's upset the wrong people. However, I think that they're a bit nervous, because I know he lost his temper a bit in tonight's show, but he's slightly untested. I think they're a little bit intimidated. They don't know what he will really do, because the guy's got this massive history. Yeah. He's obviously taken on bigger animals than the people in that house. Yeah. So he's quite intimidated. So I think they'll try and take him down now. That'll be the thing. So whether he'll end up on the stool celebrating his alpha win...
Judi, you're making me want to cry. It's like a story that you're telling me. I'm like, oh, my goodness, what's going to happen to them all?
And I don't know the ending, so I can't do the end, I'm afraid.
OK, we'll have to wait and see. Judi James, everybody.